We're back.
We're back. It's Saturday.
Showdown.
Can only mean one thing, Daniel.
So we've listened though, haven't we? We've refined what we were doing with these videos previously. If you haven't seen the Showdown videos, go and check them out. They're a little bit, well, they're probably over a year or so ago that we were doing this.
18 months,
at Torquay.
Yeah.
Just give everyone a bit of an overview of exactly what the Showdown was all about.
So the Showdown is a scoring system where you bring a club, I bring a club, and we put them head to head.
Yeah.
And we individually give them points. The last time we did it, the points were a bit complicated. They wasn't great. So we've listened to what the people have said. We've listened to what you guys have said, and we've narrowed it down to 5 points. So we've got the looks of the club. That's opinionated. We've got sound and feel. That's opinionated.
Yeah.
Then we've got distance. So that's whatever technology says. Dispersion, whatever technology says. And then we've got the overall technology of the golf club. And that again is opinion based. So there's 5 points per club, and then there'll be a leaderboard going on there. So there's 10 points available, and we disperse them around depending on where we want to put them. Is this what you're bringing?
This is what I am bringing to today's table. The JPX Fli-Hi. We've gone with number 4 hybrids, so we had to pick a number 4 hybrid for this particular one, but I've picked out the Mizuno JPX Fli-Hi number 4, but
strange. As
beautiful looking as this club is, it's got a steel shaft. I can't believe it. I mean, steel shaft for this particular club is, it's an option that you can put into it. Mizuno sent us some bits, and this was the club that ended up in the box.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love it. I think, why not? I've got a steel shaft in my hybrid, and why would we not test this?
And it's worth testing because it's not something you'll see, or you may not very rarely see in a pro shop, is a hybrid with a steel shaft in.
Absolutely.
They are predominantly graphite now because graphite's just moved on in technology. So yeah, interested to hit that, looking forward to hit it, but I like it's a no already.
Oh, you're already put off by the steel shaft?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Not the club, but it's just, I would never, do you know what, I'd never test it.
No, okay.
So it'd be an interesting test.
Okay. What have you brought to the table?
I bought the best hybrid in the world.
Is it because you already use this club?
Nope, I use this club because I previously tested hybrid after hybrid after hybrid and then proclaimed it the best hybrid in the world. And that is the PING G425.
Okay.
Best hybrid ever. Just is. Like there's nothing going up against it.
I mean, just looking down on the bottom of these two clubs, I mean, similarities already, isn't there?
Both very stealthy, so both blacked out.
Yeah.
I think this is matte, that's matte.
Yeah.
You'd struggle to tell the difference quickly.
Yeah.
Between the two of them. It's just, you know, there's no turbulators on this like there used to be on the 410.
Yeah, that's true.
The faces look very similar. So, yeah, you're going to struggle to see the difference unless you look close into it. So it should be an interesting test because mine has the graphite shaft.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
So I've got the...
more, I would say now more traditional looking hybridy with that graphite shaft in it.
100%. So yeah, this, I think it's going to be different. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how that performs.
Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to hit 5 shots with each club.
Yep.
We're going to go through that process now, and then we're going to go through the whole scoring and our ideas behind these two clubs. But I also want to get a little bit of tech out of you with them as well, if you don't mind.
Love a bit of tech, Dan.
Love a bit of tech.
Love a bit of tech.
Lee is always head of our tech, so he's going to go through the tech on both of these clubs, and obviously we've got to then determine what we think is the best club from a tech point of view as well, so really important. Right, let's hit some shots first, then we'll get some tech, then we'll get some scoring.
Let's do it. So PING G425 to start. Face wrap and spin consistency combine to give greater distance and spin predictability. It's got tungsten weighting positioned to increase the MOI for extra forgiveness, and it also has an adjustable neck. And with the JPX Fli-Hi, we have a wider footprint and material construction to deliver a more playable, high-flying alternative to its predecessors. A 17.4 stainless steel face and 431 body delivers an upgrade in ball speed, and a more reliable distance gaps gives it a deeper centre of gravity than its irons it's replacing for more predictable launch, spin and gaps. Hey, looks down at the ball for me, Dan, this looks a lot better than the 410 because the turbulators have gone, but it does have these little line-up lines on the top which really help line the ball up and sort of frame the ball. And when you look down at it, the way the face has this black part out, it kind of makes the ball want to sit in there. So when you're framing the ball up, it definitely sits in there a lot better. It's just stealthy, it's a lovely little pear drop shape. For me, it just looks like an absolutely beautiful looking hybrid. Whereas if I now look down at the JPX Fli-Hi, the crown has nothing. It's completely sort of plain and the face just has these white lines in. So for me, when framing the ball up, I just have to concentrate a bit more to try and get it into the middle of that face. Whereas with the Ping, I can just put it behind and you can sort of see where the ball wants to go. Shape-wise, looks a lot like the Ping, so it is a very traditional looking hybrid. If someone wants not a lot of fuss going on with a hybrid, the Mizuno has got to win it over the two.
Starting off with the JPX, for me, I love it. I absolutely love the look of this particular head. I love the matte finish on it. I like the way in which the face kind of just rolls over to the top of the club as well. I think it all just looks absolutely fantastic. Again, when Lee talked about the lines looking down at the ball, it doesn't bother me that I don't have necessarily a framing kind of point where they black out certain areas of the face so I can put that ball in there. However, I do understand that lots of players like to have that as a reference point. Also, you haven't got those dots or markings on the top of the club, so you, again, finding it a little bit maybe a bit more difficult to line up in the center of the club for some players. For me personally, it doesn't really bother me. I kind of feel like I can find the middle of the club when I'm lining it up anyway, so it doesn't really offend me too much, but looks down on the ball, absolute winner for me with this club. Shape-wise, moving into the Ping, similar. I'm seeing a lot of similarities, a lot of matte finish going on the top of this club. And then you've got those 3 dots on this particular model that enables you to be able to line the club up, which you can probably just see on top there. And then, as Lee quite rightly said, we've got that little marking inside where they've blacked out those lines just to be able to enable you to line that up. Again, for lots of players, I think that's an absolute win. For me personally, I'm not really too fussed about that, but I see the benefits for so many golfers out there having that extra point, just a reference point of lining everything up. But I'm not sure what it is about this club. Maybe it just looks really lofty to me. Maybe it's because the white lines are maybe really quite bright, and then maybe that sort of colored out part is making it look a little bit toed in and a little bit lofty. When you actually put them both down side by side, I'm not seeing a great deal of difference, but just now when I'm framing up that golf ball, it does seem like it's got a lot of loft on it, but they are the same loft. But ultimately, very similar in looks, but just that probably the JPX wins it from that point of view for me.
So Dan,
yeah,
1 point to the JPX for you for looks.
Definitely.
1 point to Ping for me for looks because of that framing thing that you don't like, I do like.
You like it, yeah.
So 1 point each. Now sound and feel, where you go in?
I get the sense that the JPX is a little bit duller off the face. I have no idea why that would be, whether it's anything to do with having a steel shaft, whether it's anything to do with the fact that it's glued in, that might affect the acoustics of it. And the Ping is what it kind of says on the tin. It's quite tinny, it's quite pingy. I think I prefer more of a duller sound. This is what I would call closer to my iron feel and sound.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas that one is closer to maybe more my woods feel and sound.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the iron. I think that this replaces an iron for me, so I'm going to go with the JPX purely from that point. 1 point. 1 point.
I'm going the other way, strangely enough. And that's because I like how loud the Ping is. Now, you've played with me out on a course and heard my hybrid, and it's loud, but it's for me, it sounds powerful.
Okay.
And it gives me instant feedback how well I've hit that golf ball with the noise of it. And that's why I like that. Having hit that dullness, and then have to look at the ball to see where it's gone. Whereas with this, as soon as I've hit it, I'm like, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Because I can hear that sound. So the sound and feel, I've got to give it to the Ping. Okay, so my numbers, Dan. We'll start with, let's start with the Ping G425 because that's the club I brought in. And its distance is 202. Now for me, my 4 hybrid replaces a 4 iron. My 4 iron is 200 to 205, perfectly there. And it's a good little dispersion when it comes to yardages. The JPX 185, so is a bit of a drop down. Reason for that, I can't hit it. I can't feel the head. That steel shaft is too heavy, so I don't like the head. So for distance, the Ping gets it for me. Then we go to dispersion, and the JPX is winning this at 13.4 left, whereas the Ping G425 is 19.6 left. I am a right to left player, so I would always expect it to kind of finish left a bit. But with the Ping, there's that 50 left and that 44 left, which is that bit of a duck hook with a hybrid that just is in the locker. So for me, dispersion, JPX wins it.
So what about my numbers then, Lee? So if we go to ball speed off the club face, 131, 132 mile an hour off the face with the JPX compared to 135. So just getting a little bit more out of the Ping than I am the JPX. However, I hit one real duffy one. The second shot that I hit there, which I'm going to take out of play, that brings it up to 134 ball speed. So now within 1 mile an hour of those. Taking that back out, if we look at the launch of these two clubs, 11.9 launch with my JPX compared to 13.4, so definitely popping off the face just that little bit higher with the Ping. Spin though, this is a big one, 4,085 on an average revs with my JPX compared to the Ping at 4.8, nearly 4.9. I mean, that is revving up, really, really spinning, which is a bit of a shame because I feel like I'm then losing a little bit of distance because of that. If we look at peak heights, definitely flighting it slightly lower with that JPX at 27 yards high compared to 33 yards high with the Ping, and then 198 average carry with the JPX compared to 201 average carry with the Ping. I'll be honest, when it comes to ball flight, looking at that slightly flatter flight, getting that little bit of a spin, taking out that one shot that I hit pretty poorly there, I mean, distance-wise, I don't see a great deal in it. Best to best, 206 with the Ping compared to 204 with the JPX. I feel the JPX is winning this over the Ping. If we go to dispersion, again, I feel because of that steel shaft, I'm getting a tighter dispersion, a bit like what Lee was getting there. My kind of bad one with the Ping was 34 yards out to the right, whereas my bad one with the JPX is 19 yards to the right. And if you look at the averages, I'm averaging 5 yards right with the JPX compared to 14.7 yards right with the Ping. So which one am I going to put in the bag from the numbers point of view? Probably the JPX.
Fortunately, Dan, you have to keep the shot in. So Ping wins your distance by 5 yards.
Is it 5 yards?
Something like that, yeah.
Is it really?
Yard, 5 yards.
I thought it was an
wins
average of 201 with the Ping, 198 with the...
Oh, 3 yards. Yeah.
3 yards.
Yes, a win's a win.
Come on then, let's talk about our decisions based on the tech.
For me, it has to be the Ping for a couple of reasons. It's got tungsten weighting to help with the MOI. Ping are always known for their MOI, and it has to be that. But the fact you can adjust this, you can adjust the loft, you can adjust the lie, so you can go neutral or flat and the loft at the same time. Whereas that being glued, the Ping has to win this one for me.
I kind of have to agree with that. I think that when it comes down to the adjustability of a golf club, I think that having that option is always a good thing. Even if you don't use it, I think it's a good thing to have on any golf club in this modern day. Isn't that right?
Yeah,
you know, I mean, at the end of the day, the way I see it is once you're fitted for your club, then you should stick with what you've got. However, there are times when you do change, you know, as you go through your golf game, your swing might change, and actually being able to maneuver that club to fit into maybe some different yardages or a change in your wedges is a definite win for me from that. So I can't argue with that. I think that little bit there with the adjustment just trumps the JPX Fli-Hi on that. So yeah, Ping has to take it from the technological.
And it did what it said for me. Spin consistency, my spin just like front to back was pretty tight. So
very good.
You know, it's not a gimmick technology. It worked for me. So Ping gets the point on that. So that gives you, Dan, 3 points for the Mizuno, 2 points for the Ping.
Really?
So Mizuno wins looks, feel, sound, and dispersion.
Yeah.
Ping wins distance and technology.
Okay, and then what about you?
It gets 4 points versus 1. So this wins looks, feel, sound, and distance. That wins dispersion. I'll just interrupt this section to slightly change the scoring. So my dispersion point went to the Mizuno, but in editing, done a bit of quick maths and tried to work out the square yardage of each of those dispersion circles. And actually, the Mizuno doesn't get it on dispersion. And the reason for that is I didn't take into account front to back. I only did left and right. And dispersion, as we all know, is one big sort of oval shaped. And unfortunately, the Ping has won the dispersion. So there's a change to this scoring and Ping gets all 5 points for me. And then this wins technology. So all in all, it's a 6-4 victory to the Ping, and it goes top of the tree and retains its title as the best hybrid in the world.
Well, I hope you like that video and you want to see more of these compares. If you are new to the channel and you like what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button, and we're going to see everyone again on the next week's compare show.
Showdown.
Oh, Showdown, sorry. Got it wrong.
See you later.